It's about 9:51. Good morning. Welcome back to Daybreak. This month in Alaska history, the Air Force's famed flying song is written by an Alaskan.
The year, 1939. In this week's Storytime with Aunt Phil, author Laurel Downing-Bill tells us about the man from Fairbanks who composed it and how it was chosen. 1937, the then U.S. Army Air Corps decided it needed a catchy theme song.
So some of its top men decided to hold a contest, and wouldn't you know it, but hundreds, Laurel, of submissions would soon pour in.
More than 750 compositions flooded the volunteer committee. Even famous composer Irving Berlin later submitted music. But the committee didn't like anything. They didn't think it was suitable for the Air Force.
None out of 750 submissions. In that deadline, July 1939, it was looming. So a man from Fairbanks decided he would take a chance.
This Alaskan's love for flying and the wild blue yonder prompted him to enter the contest. And the composition by Robert Crawford, who was affectionately known as the flying baritone from Fairbanks, fit the bill. The committee loved it and chose it as the winner, with the lyrics, "Off we go into the wild blue yonder,
climbing high into the sun."
So the committee chose it unanimously, but when it came to public opinion, not everyone was on board with it.
A few people didn't care for it. In fact, in September 1939 at a dinner, the committee played a recording of the song for famous aviator Charles Lindbergh, who later wrote in his diary, "I thought it mediocre at best. Neither the music nor the lyrics appealed to me."
Ouch. Regardless, Crawford was the winner, so what did he get for it?
Crawford, who actually began singing at the age of 7 on the streets of Fairbanks for those sourdoughs in 1906, got himself $1,000 in prize money, and it was given to him at the National Air Races in Cleveland, Ohio. And then he stepped up to the mic and he sang his song for the very first time. Hundreds of top military and civilian celebrities stood and applauded the lyrics that showed the gritty determination and the cockiness of these pilots who would soon become flyers in World War II, including Crawford. He joined the Air Corps as the war broke out, and he rose to the rank of lieutenant colonel.
And fast forward 25 years later, he would be awarded for that song one more time.
In 1965, the Air Force Scroll of Appreciation was presented for Crawford's work on creating that song. However, his wife Hester had to accept the honor because Crawford had died in 1961. But in 1971, the sheet music went to the moon on the Apollo 15 when the first and only all Air Force crew was on board. And then when the Falcon lunar module blasted off from the moon, the crew played a recording of the song so the entire world could hear it in honor of Crawford and the U.S. Air Force.
So cool. So cool. A piece of Alaska history has been on the moon.
Absolutely.
I didn't know that until this week.
I didn't either.
Or last week when we recorded it.
We always learn something new. Yeah.
And now you know right now. Well, next week in Storytime with Aunt Phil, how a stolen totem pole from Sitka ended up in Seattle's city center, and the Lynx 1 crew went to get it there. That's next week during Storytime with Aunt Phil. Well, winning the weekend up next when we come back. The top movie at the box office and the flick that surprisingly came in second